Alrighty, here we go. Battle City action. And, oh, what a weekend it's been. WWE had Survivor Series, War Games. How many people watched it? I thought it was good. That triple threat match for the Intercontinental title was quite something. I reckon that match stole the show, if I'm being honest. As we saw, Kaiser Seahorse is card of the Duel. Alright, rock, paper, scissors, shoot is won by... Okay, it's Espa, Roba against Lumis and Umbra, and I don't know which one's which because neither of them have an avatar. Alright, we're looking at Espa Roba's perspective. However, I believe it is Lumis and Umbra to go first here. And over the weekend, I did have a lot of comments, so I'm going to get straight into that because there's quite a few. Where was it up to? I think... yeah, there we go. Okay, Espa Roba has played Mind Wipe, so it's unsure whether or not that actually benefits Espa Roba or not using that card. Alright, Gather Your Mind is played. So Espa Roba... He's got Jinzo Jector. He could use Jinzo Jector to get Jinzo to his hand. He's gone with Impachi to start off at 1600. And if he can empty his hand, Cybernetic Cyclopean will actually get a 1000 point boost. Alright, to the comments. And starting off, 2 days ago, this is for the Chaz and Joey match. TS Cheeks says, winning duels using your opponent's cards is so gratifying to do and watch. When you use your opponent's cards to beat them, it is the ultimate sign of just absolute trolling, and that's what Joey Wheeler did to Chaz Princeton in that match. To be fair, it was a very good match. Very, very fun to watch as well. So Masked Sorcerer was destroyed, and Lumis and Umbra throw down another defense. They are absolute comedy gold for drawing brick hands, Lumis and Umbra. Probably one of the worst decks available. This is for the Bikora and Ishizu match from 2 days ago. Maxicorn says, off topic, Ishizu is the baddest bitch in OG Yu-Gi-Oh! Ishizu, I like Ishizu. I always did. I always thought she had that mystique about her. And, Lumis and Umbra have a Spellbinding Circle down, which won't do any good if Jinzo gets to the field. Mai was always real badass as well. Taya had it in her, but she never fully bought it out. Serenity Wheeler was a puff cake. What other female characters were there? Alexis Rhodes was too laid back, if that makes sense. Rebecca Hawkins, she was like a chihuahua, like an aggressive chihuahua that's like got so much fight in it, but it's so small. Alright, what's next? It looks like it's going to be Jinzo. And Lumis and Umbra would know it's coming, and they know that they can't do anything. They activated Spellbinding Circle so they can keep 2 defenses on the field. And Thomas Baird, 12.99, says, the brick was real in this match. Yes, Ishizu didn't draw great cards in that one, unfortunately, but that is the way the duels happen at times. Ishizu's deck typically has been pretty good, though. Gravekeepers versus Joey. Brian Dixon 9140 says, Game 1 is just a beating. Well, the Gravekeepers have absolutely beat the hell out of everything in front of them. They did drop a couple of legs to, I think, the Paradox Brothers and maybe Tristan, but they haven't been beaten twice in a row to lose a best of 3. Gravekeepers are coming up against Yugi today, and Chaz is playing Pegasus, so tomorrow will be the finalization of both of those series. There's Sangan. And what we'll do after that is we'll go into a Duke Devlin versus Duelist Kingdom, and I'll do another series, but I'll do it against Battle City. I reckon I might go maybe for Rebecca versus Battle City, because a lot of people were really into Becca's Duelist Kingdom run, so I might do Becca versus Battle City, and I'll do Duke Devlin versus Duelist Kingdom. I won't bother with Duke Devlin versus Battle City because the only deck the only cards that he's really used in the anime, I've made a deck with it, and Duke Devlin is going to struggle with Duelist Kingdom. So it should be a fun deck to watch though because of the randomness, because I've got a lot of dice effect cards in his deck. So, but we'll see. Okay. SEH292 says Sword Hunter. Ah, yes, I remember this card, and I will stack the destroyed monsters under Sword Hunter. LOL, Playground Days. What? You can't stack monsters on top of each other in Yu-Gi-Oh? Larry, Team APS. And Chaos Marauder commented to that as well. Personally, I've always had these little bingo chips or something. Not sure exactly what they were, but they were tiny see-through discs. I had them in 4 colors too, for cards that didn't stay on the field but still boosted the card or didn't have any other means of a clear indicator like Sword Hunter's effect, for example. That's actually not a bad idea. If you had 4-color clear plastic discs, likely that was probably from a board game of some sort, because I am guessing it would have been red, blue, yellow, and green. So many board games out there utilize those 4 colors. So yeah, I would say it was probably from a board game or something if you had clear color discs. Very useful for Yu-Gi-Oh though. And Katomi758 says, it would be nice to see a burn crush card type deck versus Battle City. There's, when I was first starting the channel, something I actually tried was using decks built from the real world booster packs or Legend of Blue Eyes deck. And while it worked for Legend of Blue Eyes, it doesn't work for any of the other booster packs because they need the previous packs supporting cards to actually function as a deck. But yeah, definitely gonna try some strategy decks at some point, I think. Like I've said, no stone will be left unturned in this channel in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, Chaz vs. Taya. Could Chaz Princeton win Duelist Kingdom? He went up against Taya, and Panda Huff's 5760 says, let's Chaz it up. Well, Chazzy Boy will be taking on Pegasus, as it looks like Lumis and Umbra might be conceding this first match. I don't think they have much of a choice. And that will do it. The Cybernetic Cyclopean picks up the first win. Okay, Chaz vs. Kyber. TS Cheeks says, as one of the Acolyte haters, I didn't think they'd get rid of it this soon either. I'm also hoping one day they'll get around to making a Darth Bane series. He has one of the best Star Wars book series. I must have been talking about Star Wars in that match. I probably was, to be honest. I saw something about a Mace Windu series coming out, and I was thinking, oh, that sounds interesting. Okay. Again, that's a pretty average hand for Lumis and Umbra. So with Star Wars The Acolyte, I didn't dislike it. It wasn't the best series that I've ever seen of Star Wars, but I wish it got a second season. I think it just needed that second season to cement if it was going to... Because, you know, first seasons of any show, doesn't matter what it is, the first season is always rocky in parts. I've been rewatching The Big Bang Theory, and even the first season on that, the first season was good, but like it had loopholes, it had inconsistencies, like any series would. If you really want to see the effect of the first season roughness, watch the first season of The Simpsons. There are so many like inconsistencies compared to how the characters actually turn out in season 1. But no, I really need to finish that one of the animated ones, Bad Batch. I've only seen like the first seasons of Bad Batch. I really need to watch the next 2 seasons of that as well. As I actually really like Clone Wars as well as Rebels. I reckon they were some of the best series in Star Wars. And alright, Shadow Spells on the field. Oh, remove trap, good card. The Masked Beast is in hand. If Lumis and Umbra can draw the card, although they'll need 8 stars worth of monsters, So Gravekeepers and Joey. Cardplayer 21 commented a heart. I know Cardplayer 21 is a big fan of the Gravekeepers deck. And no surprise because, man, the Gravekeepers deck is so powerful. Joe Lowe's 7893 says, I know this sounds crazy, but I've thought up my own original archetypes. Heavy metal, based on one of my favorite music genres, this deck focuses on special summoning powerful monsters as fast as possible. It would have a unique field spell called the Ultimate Metal Stage, and its boss monster is called the Demigod of Metal. Crows, this deck's purpose is to mess with your opponent by minimizing summoning and instead sending your card to the graveyard to activate devastating effects. One example, a Nui Crow of Silence can negate all monster effects and deal damage to your opponent's life points for each effect monster they control. It would have a boss monster, Ashar, pronounced Ashar, Grim Crow of Death, which gains more attack points for every crow monster in the graveyard. Yeah, sort of like a crow archetype. If this series ever got big enough, maybe I could convince Konami to make a Bean Soldier archetype. But crows are also like, you could do so much creatively with like the sort of like the animal that is a crow. There's like unlimited possibilities. Look at all the bird Pokemon that are out there now. Or like the flying type Pokemon, the bird design Pokemon. You could easily do Yu-Gi-Oh monsters based on crows. There's a Yu-Gi-Oh monster called Crow Goblin. And Whiptail Crow. Yeah. Are there any actual like archetypes based on birds in Yu-Gi-Oh? Oh, surely there would be. Yeah, there'd have to be, surely. Alright, Sword of Dark Destruction is equipped to Mystic Clown. So that's got up to 1900. And, alright, Moon Wolfie says, Chaz it up. Kaiba losing to the Ojama. He would be losing a Gasket at the Ojama, taking his life points 1,000 at a time, only to get finished off by the king. I can only imagine what the Ojama Duel Spirits will be saying, with Ojama yellow. I can try and do the voice, but I don't know if I'll be able to get that raspy. They're like, don't worry, we got ya, boss. And Kaiba probably thought he had Chaz with the blue eyes and the armed dragon level 5. Chaz got so lucky in that second match, he had the defense and key cards like Ojar Magic and Delta Hurricane to beat Kaiba in that third match. I would also love a Windu series. I actually really like Windu and never understood the hate in the fandom against him. Star Wars fandom is the most nonsense-making fandom in the world. It does not make any sense. Like, literally, it just doesn't make sense. Truthfully, I don't reckon Windu was killed by Palpatine when he got blown out the window by the lightning force after old mate Anakin shanked his arm off. I reckon Windu survived that fall. I reckon there needs to be a Windu series. Even Samuel L. Jackson's like, yeah, come on, let's do it, Disney. So come on, Disney, give us a Windu series. Alright, there goes Senri. Imagine in the Windu series if, like, there's some part in it where, like, 30 years later, Windu and Yoda have, like, a brief, like, encounter. Wouldn't that be cool? And Yoda's like, when me and Kenobi went after the Emperor, you could have helped us. Windu's like, I had my arm cut off, Yoda. There's only so much I could have done, and I wanted revenge on Skywalker. But revenge isn't the Jedi way, Yoda. So I went into hiding, like Kenobi did. And you did. There's so much unanswered questions about Star Wars. It really is. Alright, Amamiya Casual with the fire emoji. That was for the Bakura and Ishizu match. I know Amamiya Casual, I believe, is a big fan of Bakura. Afroman 6725. Giving people X-era decks versus Duel Kingdom decks is wacky. Be cooler for GX versus Battle City, or at least update the DK decks. I didn't think some of the duels would be so lopsided. I thought the Duelist Kingdom decks would still be somewhat competitive. Like the Gravekeepers, they're just way too strong. I think any archetype's just going to be way too strong, but... But the Duelist Kingdom decks, if we're using GX characters and we sort of weaken the deck slightly, like I did with Jaden to make it competitive, Jaden actually had some really good matches against the Duelist Kingdom decks. But in the end, I'll do both. Battle City will verse all of GX. The Orichalcos ones are going to come up soon as well, Duke Devlin's series. I want to do Pegasus and Bandit Keith take on Battle City at some point as well. Panda Huffs 5760 says, Chaz it up. That was for the Chaz and Keith match, which was very close as well, that one. Samwise 495, this is Kyber and Lumis and Umbra. You can make a building with all these bricks they keep getting. That's for Lumis and Umbra's brick hands. They're fun to make fun of, Lumis and Umbra. Built up to be so strong in the anime, and they were anything but. In the real card game, Lumis and Umbra's deck is absolutely horrendous. And there's two more comments that I have up to the point of commentating this match. Orchid of Kalida says, God, Gravekeepers is so busted. Yeah, Gravekeepers, they are a really, really good deck. I've thoroughly enjoyed playing. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching them. The Gravekeepers ones. Thoroughly enjoyed watching them play. They, the deck just works so well together as well. And Novus Tempestus 3389 says, Kyber got absolutely cooked. Against the Gravekeepers, yeah, Kyber, one of the stronger Duelist Kingdom duelists, yeah, he got absolutely slaughtered. It wasn't even a challenge. 850, and Espa Roba picks up the win against the disappointing Lumis and Umbra. Once again, they have given us a pretty average show. Okay, Chaz and Pegasus up next, as well as the Gravekeepers taking on Yugi as well. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and thanks for leaving all the comments wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, take care, farewell.